of the aisle, you know, that he just gave up. His military is not happy that they were not consulted before he made to pull U.S. And he's beginning to look as if he just did that while he had the press conference.
And the U.S. president was said to have given a lot away with North Korea committing to very little. You think Trump was blinded by his ego?
No. From day one, Trump has always been blinded by his ego. You know, I'm Trump. I did this. It's a great deal. It's beautiful. Nobody has done this since, you know, it looks as if I'm even making my hands the way he does it. Nobody has ever done this since Donald Trump. You know, our previous presidents were useless. They didn't know what to do. And they are both, you know, what I like to hear from Trump, this is what I do. You know, deals. Yeah, to make deals.
Yeah. Well, some have criticized the U.S. president for, you know, meeting with a dictator. They say this is a man who has imprisoned thousands for the flimsiest of reasons. So why is a sitting U.S. president meeting with a dictator?
No. They are not being too harsh in their assessment. You need to go back a few years when the young Obama was campaigning to be president. And that question was posed, you know, would you meet any of these dictators, or would you meet with the leader of North Korea, you know, and the rest? And he said yes, that he would. And he gave a very good cogent reasons why he would, you know, meet him. At that time, the Republicans in particular, including Donald Trump, went after him. They thought he was naive. They thought this was the most stupid thing they've heard from any presidential candidate. But he went ahead. You know, he reopened the relationship with Cuba. He tried to reach an agreement with Iran over the nuclear deal, which Trump has now, you know, canceled or withdrawn from, and the rest of it. Look, there's no harm really if we can't resolve a problem without speaking to your opponent. At some point in time, both parties would have to sit down and talk. So when you look at it that this is a talk to begin, you know, it's a process that have just started. From that point of view, yes, you know, but we must not lose that fact that this is a very brutal regime. I was looking at the figures of those in detention, and somebody was doing analysis that I just read this morning that, look, even if these two countries were to unite, how do you deal with a large number of political prisoners that will be let out of jail? That it will be enormous. You know, more than probably over between 120,000 to about 300,000 for different, you know, offenses. How do you deal with the inhuman treatment they've received from a dictator and the rest of it? So it's going to be, you know, it's really going to be challenging. But let's start from the position that, well, somewhere along the line, the issue of human rights would actually come in. And when Trump said at the news conference that he raised the issue, I actually have my doubts that he did, quite frankly, because he's, from day one, Trump has been more interested in dealing with dictators than even treating his allies respectfully.
Well, denuclearization meant different things to both leaders. We know that Trump said that North Korea will denuclearize, but we don't know, I mean, what that means for North Korea.
They'll be very careful not to, they probably look at the Iranian deal and say to themselves, it was a big mistake for what the Iranians did. We're going to learn from the lessons from what the Iranians did and drag this as best as possible until we get most of what we want to get. And for a government today like that of Trump that is desperate to get something and show the world that he has. In fact, the conference or the summit has not even taken place. They were beginning to talk, some of his crazy, you know, supporters were beginning to advocate that he should be given a Nobel Peace, you know. And he too was also very enthusiastic that who knows, this could get me Nobel Peace. So, but on a serious note, it's going to take a long time because today the economy of North Korea is not in good shape, in any good shape at all. And they need massive, you know, help, investment, and infusion of assistance, particularly from China, from Korea and from Russia. So they're going to do the best they can. And sometimes I look at the whole thing and see, it seems to me that the target is actually, North Korea is targeting South Korea, China, and Russia. Because look, these are the immediate neighbors. These are the guys that supplies them the economic lifelines. And once the sanction goes up, these are the guys that are going to come in first.
Now, South Koreans are saying that they've seen this before, North Korea making promises and making commitments, but reneging on those promises. And they're asking the U.S. government, don't trust North Korea when they say they're committing to something. So I'm asking, what was achieved at the summit at the end of the day?
From the point of view of South Korea, I just feel I guess right now, depending on what the Secretary of State says to them, I just feel they'll be looking back and saying to themselves, look, we worked so hard to get this going, and we are not too sure anything came out of this particular meeting. Instead, they have been blindsided by Trump's decision to stop the military exercises. And I think in Japan they also have the same feeling. So for them, I guess they're just waiting to be briefed on exactly what was agreed upon. But when you go through the one-page document, it was just something like an aspiration, something we look forward to doing. That's North Korea committed to denuclearization, complete, irreversible, and the rest of them. But North Korea speaks of the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
And that's totally different from what President
Which is totally different from what President Trump is saying. Of course, the only country, apart from maybe the Chinese, South Korea doesn't have any nuclear, armament. Japan doesn't have. It's only North Korea. So what North Korea has in mind is pull out all the troops, which South Korea doesn't want to do. The Japanese don't want to do. But the Chinese also will be happy to see the American troops leave the region. So you could see the tremendous amount of challenges involved with various interests at play. But I guess we can end by, like everybody else, by being positive, by saying this is just a start. Let's just hope that Trump would allow his officials to go to work.